Okay, just getting the stream going here on YouTube, and we will be off to the races with today's next level strategy session, July 8th, 2021. I was trying to think about a topic for today, and what I came up with was something that we haven't touched upon a lot. We did a session a couple months ago about just doing general LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn pay-per-click, but we didn't get around to building a lead form ad. You can actually on LinkedIn build ad forms that generate name, email, phone number the same way you can on Facebook. But they're not, it can be expensive. But this week's kind of theme that we've been working on the last 2 days has been this generating cash buyer leads. So 2 days ago, we did a session on generating cash buyer leads, people who are probably don't need a mortgage or won't be using a mortgage. And yesterday, we kind of continued on that by talking about doing rental property analysis. That particular session can be found in the next level members area. I have that posted in the webinar section there. But I think it would be cool today, thinking about those cash buyers and that type of buyer, maybe the person who's buying a property more for tax shelter or for long-term wealth building. That person might be on LinkedIn. At least that's an assumption I'm making. I thought it might be cool to try to build an ad on LinkedIn that offered a list of cash flowing income properties. So if that's cool, guys, that's what we'll jump into today. If you have any questions or things that you'd like us to address, go ahead and do that here. Hi, Kelly. I see you're here.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, so let's, by show of hands, I bet nobody's gonna raise their hands. Who has ever run a LinkedIn lead form ad for your real estate business? I've only done it once.
You're seeing crickets.
Yeah, I've only done it once. And the process to set these up, I haven't done it in a while, so you might it's going to be a little bit fun just watching me wade through this, but we're going to figure it out together today. Now, the reason why, we'll just quickly, why would we want to do this? The assumption is going to be that on LinkedIn, we're going to find more people, the people who are engaged on LinkedIn or more working, more professional. And LinkedIn likes to say that they have a higher average income per user. Who knows? The other thing that we might run into today is I don't know how strict LinkedIn has gotten with respect to targeting for real estate ads. So we might learn that together, if they have the same kind of restrictions that Facebook does. So let's just jump in. I'm going to go to linkedin.com/ads. So that's the link that you'll go to, linkedin.com/ads, and they'll take you to this business sort of account. Now, I've already had an account, so I don't know if it's going to look the same for you, but you might have to create the account. I'm going to click create ad. And when I do that, I'll be able to see any previous ads that I've run, but I'm actually going to create a new account here for this venture, so to speak. So I'll go ahead and click create account. Oh, and I'm just remembering, I don't have my wallet nearby. It might ask me for a credit card here in a minute, but we'll call this account. I'll just do it for Forever Florida locally. And then some campaigns require a LinkedIn page to use. So you may need to create a LinkedIn page. And I'm going to do that here today. We'll explore that together. So I'm just going to click create new LinkedIn page. I'll put that in a new window. We'll choose the business size right here and close out all the spam I get on LinkedIn. I'm sure you guys get it too. So we'll just call this and we'll put the website for the company in there. I'm pretty sure I could have easily just done my name, real estate agent, or Florida real estate deals, or something like that if I wanted to. So let's actually do that and see what happens. Florida real estate deals. Let's try that. And I'll just use our main website here. Industry. We'll choose real estate. Company size, company type, not a public, privately held. And then we'll need a logo here of some sort, 300 by 300. So I'll just kind of grab one really quick. So this part's all easy, guys. We can all kind of figure this out, right? I'll just take a screenshot of this one. Be a little blurry. But yeah, in about 5 minutes, you can have a page created. And I think Facebook's kind of similar right now. It's kind of quick to build. They'll let you build it in line. It's kind of quick to build a page out. So like this. Grab that.
And this is not a process they have to do every time. It's just getting started.
Yeah, it's just so that the first time you run your LinkedIn ad, you need a business page to attach the ads to. So
Same as in Facebook.
yeah. So yeah, it feels, it's a good point. It feels very similar to Facebook. So you can see here, you can put a cover image similar to Facebook. You got the profile image. You can start posting content. They've pretty much modeled Facebook here and add this other stuff. Now, I don't think I need to do all this right now in order to get an ad live, so I'm not going to mess too much with this, but you might want to spend 20 minutes just kind of fiddling and making it look pretty good, right? So let's go back now. And then some campaigns require enter an existing name. So I can just type the name in. Let's see if that works. I wonder if because I just created it. Oh yeah, it did. It popped up for me. So it popped up that page I created. I can now save it. Okay, so as soon as I do that, LinkedIn is going to give us this new campaign group automatically. And this threw me off a couple of weeks ago when I was messing around here. So it just gives you a campaign to run with. You can create these different campaign groups, and it feels similar to Facebook with some slight differences. But I'm going to go into my new campaign group here. What threw me off is I didn't know if I could, I'd like to edit that name, So if I go here, let's click manage. We'll do investment properties. All right, something like that. And then you can set your settings, run continuously, set a start and end date. So a lot of this is similar to Facebook. You can set the budgeting. It's just showing up in different parts. So it's set to run automatically. And then what you need to do is you need to drill into the campaign group. So I'll click into that. And then you can create a campaign within that campaign group. So click create campaign. And then it's going to ask me to select the objective. So they like, yes, I already did this campaign group. And now we're going to have a screen that looks similar to Facebook where we can choose the type of ad we want to run. And I know if we're doing video views, that's where we need the page. And I think for the lead generation, which is the one we're focused on now, we're going to need to do a page. So I'm going to choose lead generation. Okay. And then we can start to build out our audience. So let's grab, and you can see here, you can do list upload, we do retargeting, all these other things. And then we can do audience attributes too, as well as I thought we could do geography. Yeah, location right here. So I'm going to start with location and see if I can pick my county. Great. Okay, so that pulled 500,000 people. I'm going to turn off this audience expansion. And then let's try to get granular about who's in the audience. And we're going to go by attributes. So if we want to, we can target specific people who work at specific companies. That's pretty interesting, right? Especially if you have programs that fit certain people, or if you have a financing angle or hook.
This would be great, Ryan, if you were doing relocation ads and you happen to be live near the Google headquarters. You could grab that company, or at local hospitals, places where they have a large turnover of relocation.
Yeah, really good point. So you'd hit that company maybe in another market.
Yeah.
So demographics, let's see what happens if I pick the age. By checking the box to enable this field, I certify that I will not use LinkedIn to discriminate based on age. So this, to me, is the right way to do it. I wish Facebook did it this way. You're basically saying, yeah, I'm not going to, Facebook just assumes you're trying to discriminate if you're picking an age. So I'm just checking off, no, I'm not, so it looks like they're going to let us run this ad. So let's do other attributes. Say we only want to do people with college degrees. So I'm not going to pick PhDs because they're not going to have enough money to buy a house, right?
They're still paying off their student loans.
So I'll pick a bachelor's right here. I'll just kind of play with these. Let's see what else we can choose. And I need to, let's narrow it further. And then one of the ones was job title. So that's kind of interesting. So you can get corporate people or executives. So if I just do only executives, CEOs, right? I could pick some of these off. So you kind of have the ability to, with your ad, target people who probably financially qualify. based on their job title in your market. And this is saying that there's 3,700 people like this in my market. Not sure if that's right or not. Now, the thing with LinkedIn that's going to give you sticker shock is look at this. 9 to 28 leads, and they're saying $1,400 for those leads. So I don't know. We're not going to know until we try this. So for the purposes of today, we're just learning how to do it. I don't know where the cost per lead is going to shake out. And I also don't know if by getting so granular here, if I'm actually making the lead cost more. So we might learn that it just makes sense to not have all this restricted targeting, but it's cool to know that these options are here. Okay, so next we'll come down and we'll see that we have different ad formats that we can use. I'm going to just do a single image ad just to kind of keep it simple for today. So I'll choose that. We're not going to do the LinkedIn Audience Network. We'll set a daily budget. Let's see if they require. Will they let me only do 20 bucks? Looks like they will. Run campaign continuously. I'm going to leave all these settings as is. Click next. Yeah, and you can't change this once you save it. So I'll click save. And now what you can do is you can add ads in the campaign. So translating this to Facebook, Facebook has their ad sets that you kind of break down the targeting. In this case, you set up the campaign targeting within the campaign, and then there's a wider group that you can put multiple campaigns in. So, but it's pretty similar to just calling it something, calling it different name. So let's create a new ad. And we'll call this cash flowing income properties.
Now, when you do the naming convention, Ryan, sorry for interrupting, do you think about like naming conventions as you have set up in KV Core? Maybe you've got lead routing if you're an admin or a broker or something. Do you try to stay consistent with your ad naming conventions to what you would use, and maybe even by hashtag group or anything like that? Is that something to think about?
Yeah, definitely. If you're running a lot of different stuff, for sure. So for our internal, our ads department here at Inside, we have a convention that we use for sure to identify different clients and different markets and things like that. So if you're running a lot of different stuff, that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if I'm running this ad and it's for my cash flowing income properties, and I'm using a hashtag associated with that, and maybe I've got it tied to, I don't know, a lead routing rule, or maybe it's funneling into a pond somewhere or something like that, I'd probably want to keep it consistent. So just, for going back and finding it, I'd be able to put the pieces together, right?
Yeah, good point. So yeah, when you name the ad, think about that. You might want to demarcate the hashtag or how it's being assigned or things like that. So for our text, we'll do see a complete current list of multi-unit income properties in Pinellas County with potential for cash flow. It's something like that. Priced from low 200s to 5 million plus. So this is just kind of what works on Facebook and what we use over and over. So I'm just going to go with that, but you could do anything you want, and then destination URL. This is interesting. They're going to scrape the destination here. So what I'll do is it's probably gonna make me log in here again. Let's create our squeeze link. Yeah. I think it's just a cookie timeout, Kelly. What I'm learning is it's like, it just logs you out after a certain.
I'm gonna say, because it never does that for mine.
Yeah. The other thing it could be is that really pesky Dashlane password manager.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I should just turn that off for a minute. But then I needed to log back in.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go. Let's make ourselves the squeeze page that the traffic's going to land on. So
while you're doing that, Ivy had a question. Is it required to have a logo when setting it up, or is it optional?
I think I'm not sure. Yeah, you might have to try it. I just did it because it asked for it, but I just did it. If you don't have a logo, just grab a picture of a house or something. That might do the trick. The county. Here we go. There it is. So there's my county, my listing type in this example. So the point here is that I'm looking at LinkedIn and saying, hey, I'm going to run investment type stuff here. So Twilight Zone, it's not loading for me here. Uh-oh. So I'm trying to choose income property. This is definitely a glitch.
I was going to say, try, is it the account you're in? Maybe it doesn't have that.
Yeah, maybe. I was going to try to turn off. I wonder, I'm going to blame this thing again.
Is it in the options? Is income property in the options?
No, it should be here. See, it's not even giving me a listing type. So I'll just go to the front of the site. Sorry, guys. I'll just run the search from the front of the site here. But what you would want to do is create the list of properties using the squeeze link there. And I'll just do it from here. Okay, that was easy enough. So now I have my link that I can use. And this is where the traffic is going to go after it opts in. And now I want to set my registration to 0. So disable reg equals 1. I just know the parameter, but you can set that using the squeeze builder. But just keep going here. We'll just get this link going. And we'll feed it to LinkedIn. Now, what I was curious about was, are they going to just get me an image? Or do I have to make one? I'm not even sure what that's, if they really even need that yet, because I'm going to be building a form that redirects to that, but we'll put the link there that we want the person to land on to get the list. So Pinellas County income properties with cash flow potential. And then I'm gonna have a little fun, guys, because we have a little time to get this done. I'm gonna make an image, something that has performed pretty well before. So I'm gonna make it in Google Maps. So I'm gonna go to Maps. And then I'm gonna do okay. Maybe I'll use this. Okay. And what I was going to do, I'll take the screenshot of this. I'm going to throw it in a Google, my trusty Google Draw canvas. This is from the session the other day. So I do end up spending some time making, because you want to make the ad kind of stick out and be interesting. So I think it's worth doing. And then let's put a big ugly red arrow. So I'm going to grab an arrow here. I'll color it red. And then let's get an image, an icon of a house. We'll make this look as silly and cartoony as possible. Now you could use your own style with your creatives. You don't have to be as we get this, right? And then we're going to put some text that says 17.3% cap rate. So we're going to get a little geeky with the financing terms, because the people seeing our ad are going to know what cap rate is, a lot of them, right? All right. So yes, it looks like a 6th grader made this, but there we go. It's meant to be ugly and burn your eyeballs, so it gets the click and stops the traffic, right? So, oops. So I'm going to save this image to my computer. And these have worked well. And with all ads, you're going to want to split test your creatives, have multiple versions, multiple images eventually. But just to get something running, this should be good enough. So I'll upload it. Actually, I can't remember if I saved it. Did I save it?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Okay. Sometimes I just hit the right click and copy because you can do that. Here we go. Okay. So there we go. There's our ad copy. Hopefully in a minute it'll show up. So anybody who lives in the area, they'll see the headline of the page, Florida real estate deals, 17.3% cap rate question mark. And then they're going to be clicking. And when they click, they're going to not be going to the website, right? They're going to be filling out the form in LinkedIn the way they do with Facebook. So we're going to do learn more, select a lead gen form, and I'm going to have to create a new one. We'll call this cash flowing. Pinellas. Pinellas income properties. Cash flow potential. Okay, so that we can see on the right side, it's kind of building it. It's optional to do more details. I could kind of reiterate the information from the ad. My privacy policy. That's going to be the privacy.php link that you find at the bottom of your site. If there's a link in your footer of your KV Core site, you can always grab that link. And then you can see here, you can actually get custom questions from the contact. So I'm just going to go for phone number and check it out. This is kind of cool. You can get their profile URL. That's pretty neat, right? So you can kind of go learn about them as the lead comes in. You can add other custom questions and go nuts. But the same with Facebook. I like to keep this kind of simple. You know, less is more because we want a higher conversion rate. So I don't want to make them think. I mean, I could ask them like, "Hey, are you already an investor? Is this your first property?" You know, you can play with that if you want. But I'm gonna just kind of go with this. This looks okay. I'll go to confirmation. This is similar to Facebook. Great. Click to continue to the property list now. So we'll take them over to the squeeze link. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Here it is. There we go. Hidden fields. This is cool. You can add hidden tracking fields that kind of you can pass on into KV Core or something that tells you more about it. So if you want to add a note and stuff, what we're going to end up having to do here is we're going to have to hook up Zapier and push the lead in the same way we do with Facebook. But you know, if you want to get a little advanced and send yourself fields that's not being filled out by the customer, you can do so right there. So that's kind of cool. So now we create the ad, and there we go. Now this says that we will spend $240, $720 and get 4 to 12 leads. We don't know if this is accurate or not, but it's worth a shot, right? And depending on what you're selling, if you're doing higher end luxury, if you're trying to sell commercial, this could make sense. So I just figured it'd be worth doing this today just to kind of see what it looks like. So now that it's created, I'm going to click next. They're eventually going to ask me for money here. I have to give my card. And I just click launch campaign. Yeah, and it says no payment method saved. So I can go do that later. That's good to know. So I don't have to do that live. It's like I said, I didn't have my wallet with me. All right, so go to account overview. Now, once that happens, the leads for this campaign are just going to live in LinkedIn the same way you do with Facebook, unless we do something about it. So what we need to do about it is we need to hook up Zapier, LinkedIn to KV Core via Zapier. So I'll go into my Zapier account. We'll create a Zap. And this looks very similar to Facebook. So our app event is going to be LinkedIn, not Facebook. So LinkedIn lead gen forms. It looks like you do need the premium account the way you do for Facebook. Our trigger event is going to be new form response. It wants me to log in to the lead gen forms. So I need to authorize it. You can see I'm just telling Zapier it's okay to go grab that info. So now it's all connected. And then I should now be able to grab the account. and then grab the lead gen form. You can see that was pretty straightforward, similar to the way Facebook works. So I've got my trigger set up. So any leads generated through that form, I'll hit test. It'll probably give me some test data because there's no leads yet. And then my action is going to be KV Core. So you're going to need to get your KV Core account linked up to this, which you can do by going to the lead, go to the main all lead engine tools. And if you go to lead Dropbox at the top right, if you haven't already linked up KV Core to Zapier, and there's a link here to access the Zapier app and some instructions about how to get that set up. And you're eventually going to need, oh, I guess you don't need the key maybe in this case, or you do. You are going to need the key. Sorry, guys, I'm getting dizzy. You are going to need the key to link it up to Zapier the first time. So, but since I already have it hooked up, we should be good to go. There we go. And then it's just a matter of mapping all the fields over. So you see it gave some example data. So I click the first name, I click the last name. I can say buyer is the lead type. I can map over the email, right? I can get the cell phone number because I chose that as an option. And then I have my LinkedIn profile URL, which is cool. I'll just dump that into the notes. LinkedIn profile URL. Since that's coming over. And then I can set a hashtag, cash flowing income. And if I want, I could call the source LinkedIn if I want. Here, I can do LinkedIn. So KV Core knows it's a LinkedIn ad. I might just do ad as opposed to regular LinkedIn. Continue. And then it says that I need to address some other issues. It wanted me to test it first. Let's see. And it looks like maybe they don't like that I'm using the test data. That happens sometimes when building your Zap. So you could just skip the test. Usually you can skip the test. Let's see. Or it just wants to give me a hard time. Step one needs attention. It's not letting me finish the test here. Usually you can finish the test down here at the bottom. Let's just go back to the beginning. This is unfortunate. For Facebook, they'll let you skip it without having the test data in there. But when I test this trigger, it's not working right. So now let's hit skip test. Is it going to work now? Okay. Okay. Now it let me skip. I was probably just working too fast, guys. So you're going to want to skip the test at the first part, hit continue. And now I think we're going to be okay if we just continue through. And then we can turn on the Zap. So it probably sent that test data into KV Core. Let's just see. It's a good idea to check.
A couple of questions came in from Ed and Kathy. One, do you have to have a Zapier account to use the lead gen forms?
You don't need it to use lead gen forms, but to get the info into KV Core, you will.
And the cost of Zapier, I think it starts at $99 a month, or excuse me, $19 a month, but there's different pricing ranges, so you'd have to go to the app.
Yeah.
But they do have a basic free account, but you'll probably want to get the paid one.
Yeah, you'll need the paid to do the LinkedIn and the Facebook form linking. And I think you need the Pro. Yeah, you might have to actually do, wow, they're getting crazy. I would check first. You might need the 49. Let's see. I wonder, in that case, that sounds expensive. I'll tell you.
Can you do it through API Nation?
Not LinkedIn.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. So yes, this would be pricey, but I'll tell you, it's going to be pricey anyway because it's LinkedIn. But yeah, the other way to go about this, and I think the price on all this will come down. Eventually, I think LinkedIn and Facebook will just link to CRMs. Yeah, they make it hard right now. But the other way to go about this, if you want, is you can just take the data out of LinkedIn and manually import it.
Because it comes in as like in a spreadsheet form where you can download it as an export it as a spreadsheet, and then just use that bulk import tool to get them in there. But you'll have to just do that on a manual basis.
Yeah, I thought this used to be. Wow, I thought this used to be for the pro account. It used to be 25.
I did too, because I remember when Zapier was when it was free and you could do a couple of zaps, and then it was like $9.99 a month.
Yeah. One thing I will do, I know there are other competitors to Zapier, like Integromat, but we're probably not hooked up yet to KV Core. So we might need to on KV Core side. I'm going to talk to the guys because it would be good if we had some other options that weren't that expensive. That's pretty high.
Rich asks if Power Automate works. Would Power Automate work?
Power Automate. I haven't heard of that one. The issue is it would need to connect to KV Core. And the only one of these that I know about is Zapier that we've connected to so far. Okay, I need to do more digging on this though. Yeah, it was always 20, it was always 25, which didn't feel so bad. But now we're looking at, if you do month to month, they want 73 a month to do the pro account, which just seems insane. Especially considering what it does. There's no overhead for what it does, it's just code. Okay, that said, if you want to do this, that's how you do it. You run the LinkedIn ad and you connect the form to KV Core via Zapier. If you're going to test this out, I would say just don't even worry about the bridge. See if you can generate a few leads. Manually import them, manually put them in the KV Core, and see what happens from there. If you're thinking about using this as a source, the other way you can use LinkedIn ads, if you don't want to pay for Zapier, they have some other ad objectives. So today I just wanted to get fancy and use the lead forms the way we do on Facebook, but I could easily go in here and run a regular ad that sends a click over to the website. So if I go click ad, and then we'll go into that account, and then we'll go to this campaign group, create campaign. And then you can see here, we can choose to send people straight to the website, or we could use the website conversions objective. And in this case, we'd just be sending the traffic instead of through a lead form straight to KV Core. So well, that's good to know. So Power Automate is part of Microsoft 365. Okay, I'll definitely look into that, Rich. Thanks. That's interesting. Yeah. So, but you can definitely drive traffic and you can get good quality, it's the same people. So if you're going to do the website visit, I would do the website visits. And this is the objective that I've used the most of. And you just send a simple click over to your website. The cost per click is a lot higher, but again, you might get quality depending on what you're doing. So that's it though. That's kind of how to run an ad on LinkedIn. I hope that's useful for you guys. You're not going to get as much traffic, but for specific situations, if you're running, I could think of if you have a luxury listing and you want to drop it in front of all the executives in your market, and you want to go into your listing presentation and tell the seller, hey, I'm going to target every CEO and within a 100-mile radius. I mean, I could see knowing how to do this coming in handy, right?
I think this is a great tool to use for things like relocation, investors, specific marketing, like say you're promoting a winery or a home with a duplex, something like that, because there's so many individual professional types in there that you can target to outside of what Facebook offers, that it's worth diving into for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. And you're thought about relocation, you could probably target people who are in human resources and recruiters, and say, hey,
tons of HR is on there, tons of relocation people. LinkedIn is used all the time for relocation.
Yeah. So you could run an ad that's like, hey, setting up a relocation program for your company, need a local agent contact, get in touch, stuff like that.
And you can do the same thing with things like BPO specialist or REO specialist, and target banks and areas like that manage REOs and that entire market.
Yeah, definitely. And then the other big use here, I was going to do this today, but I'm always afraid to uh, train on recruiting. We got people, but you could, maybe we'll do a separate session. You could recruit using LinkedIn or agent attract, as some companies like to call it. So you could target people who have a job title of agent, right? So, and then run your ads. The other thing you could do is, from a recruiting perspective, is you could run ads that say, hey, thinking about a career change, become a real estate agent, right? So you can attract new agents. Click here to opt in to, download a free report that explains step-by-step how to change careers and become an agent and why you should. So I can see that being a good hook for a team leader or a broker who's trying to recruit. Mm-hmm. Lots of possibilities, lots of targeting. And,
that's why I like LinkedIn, because it's so specifically targeted by niche versus Facebook, which is really more of such a socially, social platform versus LinkedIn which is why the cost per lead is so expensive.
You're people are here to do business. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Facebook took away a lot of the targeting that LinkedIn appears to be allowing. The location targeting, the zip code. I didn't even check. Can you do a zip code? Let's see. Let's just check it real quick. This is all stuff you used to be able to do on Facebook that they took away. So can I do one zip code? Maybe not. Looks like you need to do it by city. But even that on Facebook, you can't do just a city. You have to do 15 miles around it. So you can even get tighter here. So
it does have areas though. So that might be interesting. I don't know what they define as an area though.
Yeah, like a metro area, right? Is that what you mean? Mm-hmm. Type in Tampa. Yeah, like greater Tampa area, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So lots of possibilities. You can see they have these different objectives. The text ad is the one I've used the most. Just puts like a little like 2 lines of text. It's a very easy creative to make, and you just generating a click straight out. The conversation ad is if you want people talking to you in LinkedIn Messenger. Have not tried that. Same, I think, with the message ads too. So it goes into your inbox on LinkedIn. So lots to play with. Event ads, maybe you can get people to show up. So an ad that I might run here is, buy your first cash flowing. You create a LinkedIn event, how to buy your first cash flowing income property in St. Pete. You schedule a time and you drive traffic to that, and then people show up, and you do a webinar like the one you're sitting on right now. That could be a pretty powerful way to go to. So basically anything you can do. You can do all this stuff on Facebook too, but anything you can do out there, you can do on LinkedIn, but you'll just spend a little more. Just kidding. I'm kind of giving you my experience with LinkedIn has been, man, compared to Google and Facebook, it just does feel expensive, but there are going to be cases where it makes sense to spend that money. You get a $5 million listing. To me, it's a no-brainer to go on LinkedIn and start running paid traffic at it. It's just easier to find the $5 million buyer here, right? So cool. Anything else, Kelly, that you're seeing going on in the world at KV Core, or any other questions from anybody else?
I don't see any other questions coming in. Been watching the Facebook group. There's been some fun questions in there. I posted my question of the day today, because today I posted about QR codes. I'm on a QR code kick. Okay. But that's probably another topic for another day. But I found I have just really been digging on QR codes, especially since I figured out how you can make a QR code right from the Chrome URL bar. So I've been turning my landing pages into QR codes. So I've been thinking about all the really crazy ways and places. Right there it is on the cow. All these crazy places that you could put a QR code that links back to a landing page or to a squeeze page. And where can you advertise that? They're even putting them on tombstones these days. Like you can scan a QR code and get information about that family's history. And it's kind of, it's just a totally out of the box creative way to create a click funnel. So, and I really have seen a huge resurgence of QR codes since the pandemic, because you can't go anywhere into any restaurant without having to download the menu from the QR code. So people are getting really exposed to it right now. So I'm trying to think of as many really great creative ways to drive traffic back to your website using a QR code. And I love that one that's on the pillow right there, because I do that on my listings. Every time I do my listing photos, I have pillows that have my logo and my brand on it, and I throw them throughout the house on the couches and stuff so that they're snuck into the staging photographs. And I'm thinking now I might put a QR code on there.
Well, let's do this as a session next week if you're free.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth talking about. There's some really great creative ways to use this, and it's not supposed to take the place of your campaign, but it is a really fun and creative way of doing it. There's lots of different ways you can add QR codes to your
I'm gonna get a QR tattoo.
Strategy. I love that. They have temporary ones that you can get. Could you imagine going out to like an event and then just having a QR code on your shoulder or on your leg or something? I don't know, something crazy. Put on your dog, put on your cow.
So do you want to do this maybe Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Okay,
Between now and then we'll come up with 50 ways to QR something.
Cool for your real estate business. Good.
There you go.
Well, thanks guys for being here today. We'll get the replay live. It's actually going to be live on YouTube instantly, so you can go see it in the playlist there, and then we'll be back Tuesday maybe to talk about QR codes.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks, Kelly.
Bye.